Yeah, there's no doubt it was it's always an honour to get called up. So it was really nice to see my name back in the squad, and obviously I've been working for 5 months as hard as I can to get back on the pitch. So it's almost a nice little reward to be able to be called back into the England squad and have an opportunity to be around the team again.
And might the other benefit prove to be long term that you might be a bit fresher come June and July because you missed 4 months of the season?
It's hard to say, really. You never know how you're going to be feeling at the end of the season, and after an injury, when you're out for 5 months, after 4 weeks, it feels like you've just played a whole season. So it's hard to say how you'll feel at the end of the season. Maybe once I'm back into full fitness, that I might have a bit left over come the summer, but it's hard to say.
You played the last half hour of the Scotland game back in August before you got injured. You then missed the qualifiers. From an England perspective, do you feel you're almost having to play catch up?
I think you always have to be on your toes and make sure that whenever you get opportunities to play, whether it's for your club or your country, you take the opportunity and show what you can offer. I don't know if I'm playing catch up because I feel like I'm still a young player and I'm still definitely learning as I go along and learning my trade. So all I can say is whenever I do get opportunity to come away, I just try and do my best and show what I can offer.
I think you're the fourth youngest player in this squad, something like that. But there's some really exciting youngsters emerging now, aren't there?
Yeah, definitely. The likes of Luke Shaw, it's really good to see him here, and Ross Barkley and a lot of the other young players. And I still consider Daniel Welbeck and Danny Sturridge as young players as well. So there really is a lot of young talent in the England squad at the moment, and that mixed with the likes of Steven Gerrard and the more experienced players, I think it's a really good mix. But as you said, there is a lot of young players coming through at the moment, and it's a credit to I think to the academies around England. And to the English League and to what we have to offer as a young group of players.
What have you made of Luke Shaw's performances this season in the Premier League?
I think he's been absolutely outstanding. As an 18-year-old, the maturity that he's been playing with and the consistency level that he's been playing at has been unbelievable. And I've always known that Luke's been a fantastic player. Obviously, being at Southampton, I saw him come through the ranks, and he was only a few years younger than me. But he's shot up and he's matured and he's grown physically, and he's taken that into the first team at Southampton, and I think it's been a rapid rise for him, but he's handled it really well. And I speak to all the Southampton lads and they say how level-headed he's been, and his performances have been brilliant.
You mentioned just now about the good balance between the younger generation and the old, and yet if the youngsters continue to perform well, I think Roy Hodgson might have some difficult decisions to make in terms of leaving out his more experienced stars for the youngsters that are in form.
That's definitely not for me to say, but as individuals and as players, we don't pick the teams, but it's our responsibility to put in good performances and influence the manager's decision. Because every one of us is trying to work hard for our clubs first and foremost, and that then relays into England selections, and that's all we can do is make sure that as young players and the same as the old players, the more experienced players, they'll be trying to put in the best performances they can, and it's up to the management to then pick the team.
12 midfielders in this squad. I mean, that statistic alone shows you how much competition there's going to be for places in that area for the World Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm kind of used to that at Arsenal with the amount of midfielders we have. I think it's the more competition for places, the better. It keeps everyone on their toes and playing at the best that they can. And as I said, more competition for places really does just make sure that everyone's right at it, whether it's in training or in a game. And I think it's good for our manager as well to be able to see all the options he has, because that will then enable him to make the best decision for the team come the summer.
With the domestic season in full flow, the Premier League, the Champions League and the FA Cup, how easy is it to switch off from that for these 3 days and then obviously switch back on again at the end of the week? I mean, that must take some practice, isn't it?
I don't know, you just got to sort of take it in your stride, I guess. As soon as you come to the England camp, you sort of just focus on where you left off last trip. For me, obviously, it was a little while ago in the summer, but for the rest of the lads, it wasn't too long ago. So you just try and remember everything that you were working on in training before, and you do keep in contact with England staff and coaching staff throughout the season. So, you know, that helps you to stay in touch. And as soon as you put the England jersey back on and the training kit, you know, you just focus on what's in hand. And for us this week, it's the game against Denmark.
And you are sort of proof of how a young player can burst through into the squad for a major tournament at the last minute with what happened at the Euros a couple of years ago.
Yeah, for me, obviously, going to the Euros was a massive experience for me, and it almost came as a surprise to see my name selected for that. You know, it was a nice surprise and one that I'll never forget, and it gave me the pedestal to be able to push on with my Arsenal career and also my England career. You know, seeing the likes of Steven Gerrard handle himself at a major tournament and Wayne Rooney was a massive experience for me. And you know, obviously looking towards future tournaments, that's definitely an experience that I'll definitely take into those tournaments and will help me.